Hello everyone, welcome to possibly a new series, depends on what you guys think of it, but I was having, I think it was just a conversation with Gray at one point about some of the maps in the game on zones and like bans and stuff for them, and it got me thinking about how a lot of the maps are played in more unique ways and a lot of the scene doesn't take advantage of them, and I don't think there's really too many guides for how to play stages, so today I want to start hopefully helping with that. I've been wanting to have more content for this VOD dump channel, so my idea is I'll go over every map in the game, it'll get its own video, and I'll kind of do like a basic guide to understanding like what are the key positions, how do you move on the map, and stuff like that. And since this is the first episode, this will probably go over a few of those points, like the line people move on, and where people are looking, and that kind of thing. So let's start with Mart, because I think this is one of the most common maps in the game. It's very standard, it's very simple. There's not really a whole lot of unique strategies here. So, I want to start from the inside going out. So, the key positions of the map are pretty obvious on the stage. It's the stacks, this little area over here. And I mean both, so it doesn't matter which one it is really. But these are the main zones that are important for teams to control. Which means if you are retaking back into the map, if you're pushing in, you need to try and secure one of these positions. Because if you walk in and you don't, you'll notice that a lot of the map terrain is very unfavorable. There's a lot of low ground you can be stuck in. There's a lot of drops that you can't go back from, a lot of one-way drops, and one-way drops will be a big point of discussion on this map, and I'll get to that in a little bit. And these positions are also a key high ground advantage. Once you get here, you can basically see everything, gives you a lot of control of the space. It also gives you a lot of control over the objective. It allows you to see the zone or paint zone much more easily. So ideally, when you are trying to lock out the other team, when you're trying to full hold, you want to have both of these stacks under your control. And a lot of what's going to happen with retake is the team trying to get one of these stacks. So the next thing I want to show off is basically where people are going to move on the stage, the kind of standard retake line. And there'll be one of these for pretty much every single map in the game. Splatoon 3's maps lend themselves a lot to these. A lot of them just have straight lines to move in from. And so this is Mako's. It goes like here, 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 and back across, right? Really simple. This is the main line you'll see for retaking. And the main reason for that is this is the route where you can move forward and backwards in more easily. There's a lot of spawn region that allows you to retake from this side. You have the fastest access to stack from a safe position. You're able to walk forward and backward here if you need to retreat or reposition, so it gives you a lot more control over what you're doing, and it leads you into the easiest stack to access, the closest one to your side. Now obviously, Splatoon is not a game where everyone walks on a line, and so in this case, this map has a big ability to skip positions. There's like two main ones. There's this little one here where you kind of just drop. It's a little risky because of the one-way drop ledge over here, which I might as well just outline real quick. This little one-way drop makes it a little bit risky because if you drop into the middle of the map and someone's here, you're gonna die. But if this little part is clear, you can usually get the stack a little bit faster. But the main one that you'll see people do is this wide flank all the way over here to try and take the enemy stack. The reason this is so hard is first you have to have a one-way drop, which is bad. Then you have to drop into a pit, which is also bad. And then you have to climb a wall, which you might have guessed is also bad, just to get over to the enemy stack. The benefit is that this line, just going out of spawn or like, you know, going this way or whatever, is a lot faster than going normally. It also gives you the enemy side. So what's so valuable about having that position? So let's get our first weapon. Let's say we have a pencil on the enemy team and they're holding your team. So they got a pencil over here on stack. One thing that I think is really important to be aware of is where the pencil can actually look. So let's get like a little field of view, I guess. You know, you got like, probably can see roughly this. Usually, that's going to be in the camera view and you can rotate it a little bit. But that's what the pencil can actually see. Like everything going on over here. That's like where it can hit and that's where it can see. So the benefit to these wider angles and flanks is not just going faster, but it's also pulling attention. Because if the pencil wants to deal with, I don't know, let's say this is a mint decapitator, because like mint's kind of common right now. Mint's a bubble weapon. So like let's say there's a mint that manages to get back here and they set up their bubble, and they're up here. As the other team, as the pencil, you now have to turn around and look this way. And if you're looking this way, you can't see everything over here, which is where the rest of the team is hopefully going to approach from afterward. So that gives a big advantage to your team to be able to pull, especially long-range players, to look in a different way, but it can be true for other weapons. If there's a slosher on the other team watching this position, then the slosher is not under the ledge controlling the rest of your team. So being able to pull attackers away is really important, because a key thing we're going to see a lot on zones is that the attackers want to try and push up pretty far. Ideally, attackers want to try and get, maybe you want to have someone over here, someone under this ledge. If you can push further in and take a fight down here, you want to push down here. You want to get far off the zone. And the reason for that is you want the enemy team to be able to push. Maybe they win a fight, maybe they don't, but then you guys can regroup to the key positions of the map, these two, while they're walking further forward, and you get another engagement. And so if you're able to skip and fight all the way in the stack, then it doesn't matter if there's people over here, because you're going to take the zone, and they have to come back. Or, you're going to be fighting on two fronts, right? You'll have the attacking team playing this side of the map, and this side of the map, and you're going to get pinned in the middle, and it's going to be really difficult to fight out of that. So, that's all stuff that's worth noting, and that is generally most of what you need to know for the stage. That's a basic overview of about everything that should matter, but we can cover retake really briefly here where you're going to go, because this map is very generous to retake. You have a very wide spawn region, so you can get all the way over here or all the way over here relatively uncontested. This spot in particular here is really good for specials like Crab Tank, for instance, or throwing strikes at the zone to be able to clear stack. It's also really nice because this spot can see these little alleys, which I haven't really talked about as much, but these little alleyways are kind of ways to get through stack. And they're very narrow positions that are very easy to punish, but they're also often outside of line of sight, especially if you clear stack, and it's another reason why stacks are so important on this map. Because if nobody is up here, it's very easy to send a flanker, and then once the flanker gets through, they get this really wide angle, and it's the same angle I told earlier, where people don't want to look in this corner that are holding. They want to look forward, so if you can make them look into the corner, the rest of your team is going to have an easier time retaking on this map. The final thing I would say is you want to be really careful with, a common mistake I see is having a lot of front lines positioned over here. Pen over here makes sense because Pen can hit the stack, so you get a good crossfire angle as your team pushes. But if you're going to be a front line over here and you're not going to commit to taking their stack or yours, you don't want to get stuck down. I should use a different color. You don't want to get stuck down here. This is effectively no man's land. If you can't push all the way to the stack, you're going to get shot with damage. You're not going to have a good time, basically. It gets you put in all the worst positions, and you don't immediately contest either of the two power positions of the map. So that's my basic overview for Mako Mart. I think this map favors mostly AoE weapons. The ability to hit these ledges over here is really good. Being able to hit the stacks without climbing on top of them is really powerful. There's just a lot of ledges and positions for that. Range value, long-range weapons still get good value just because they can hit across this gap or hit from stack into the spawn, so long-range weapons definitely still get a lot of value here. But the main things you need to know is that the stacks are very important. That's what you're playing for on your retakes or on your holds. You want to try to get control of those and push ahead of them or push into them. So that's it for Mako Mart, and let me know what map you guys want to see next. I'll probably pick whichever one is the top comment. Or maybe I won't because I said this at the end. I should have said this at the beginning. Oh, whatever. We'll see what happens. Let me know if you guys like this series and want to see more of it. Bye.